Hi, and welcome to Little Red's Thanksgiving Special.
Now today I'm going to show you how to smoke a turkey that your family and friends are going to love. It's going to be juicy, it's going to be moist, they're going to love it. And you know how you've always got people in the kitchen in your way? That's because they're hungry. We're going to show you how to take care of that. We're going to make some deviled eggs using Little Red's products that your family's going to love and keep those people out of your hair. Now it's time to get this party started, so we're going to go fire up the pit and get ready to go. Okay, so we've got the pit fired up. So while it's kind of getting its temperature leveled off, we're going to start prepping the turkey. Now, one of the things we're going to do is inject the turkey, and Chad's going to go over the ingredients that we're going to use for the injection for the turkey.
We want to inject the turkey because we want to make sure we come out with a nice, juicy turkey at the end. We don't want anything drying out and getting all hard to eat. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a cup of chicken stock, 1 stick of butter. We're going to put in a little bit of Granny's old-fashioned seasoning because that's what we're going to use to season the outside of the bird as well. Going to put in a little bit of the rib rub because I like the sweetness and the heat that it'll give it. And we're also going to put in a little bit of chipotle powder because I am a fan of heat.
So what's the Jack Daniels for?
Well, that's strictly because having a house full of family at the holidays tends to be a little stressful. This makes it a whole lot easier.
Okay. Well, there you have it. So we're going to get this mixed up, get it cooking on the stove, and we'll come back in a minute and I'll show you how to prep the turkey, okay?
Just melting that butter, bringing it up, getting everything warm and dissolved in there. And then we're going to let it cool for just a little bit before we fill the injector and start injecting that turkey.
We've got some Granny's old-fashioned here. Now, in a moment, we're going to show you how we actually prep the turkey. And one of those things is we're actually going to put this mixture under the skin of that turkey. So really right now, I'm just going to add a little bit of Granny's old-fashioned to this butter. And then with my handy food-safe gloves, I'm just going to mix it all together real good. Get a good paste that's got a good balance of that seasoning and that butter. And we'll get this put under the skin of that turkey here shortly. All right, so we've got about a 9.5 pound bird here. Now that may or may not be a size that will fit the family feast that you've got to prepare for, but for our purposes, this is perfectly fine. Now, I want to talk to you about a couple of things regarding how we prepared the turkey to this point. Number one, we made sure that it was good and thawed, and we did so in a safe manner. So after it thawed, we've already taken out the neck bone, we've taken out the giblets or the giblets, whichever part of the country you're from. And we've cleaned the inside of the turkey out real good, rinsed it off, patted it dry. Now, what you're going to see throughout our process is that we're using some of the same ingredients in every step of that process, whether it is in the injection that we're going to be doing here shortly, whether it's in the butter that we're going to use under the skin of the turkey, or even when we finally season the outside of the turkey. We want that flavor profile throughout the cooking process to be very balanced. And that's an important thing so that you don't have competing flavors in that meat. Now, there's occasionally when you buy a bird, such as in our case, there's a piece of plastic that's holding the drumsticks together. Now, those look nice and help keep a good shape, but we don't like any plastic around when we're trying to cook because we want all the flavor to be turkey. So I'm just going to remove this. It's very easy to remove. Lift these legs, and then this is just lodged in here, so you just give it a pull and it'll come right out, okay? So now we've got all the foreign material away, and so now it's time to loosen the skin. Now, when you loosen the skin on a bird, it's really easy if you start at this point because there's an easy place to separate with your fingers, and then just run your fingers right under the skin of that bird, and you can come in from the back if necessary to finish that. So now, it's time for the butter. Now, I don't know about you, but us Southern boys, we like butter. And we like butter with Little Red's products. Now, in this one, again, because we're using Granny's Old Fashioned, we've already put that Granny's Old Fashioned and mixed it with this butter. So I'm going to get that butter underneath that skin and rub it into that meat really good. Nothing like Little Red's rub meat. All the way way down in here. And then come over here to these legs. Oh, yeah. One of the things this butter will do will also help that skin to crisp up. And Southern boys, we like crispy fried chicken. We like crispy turkey skin. And that's going to happen when we cook this on the pit here shortly. So I've just about got this one all ready to go. And so the next step we'll show you is actually going to be seasoning up the outside of this turkey. I'm going to put a little butter inside, and then we're going to, we're going to inject it, and then we'll add that seasoning to the outside. But I'm going to add a little bit more butter to just the cavity itself, and then we're going to inject this bad boy. All right, so now it's time to inject the bird. Now, to inject a bird, you really want to make sure that you're distributing that juice throughout some key parts of this turkey. And that's going to be this breast area. The breast is going to be that larger piece of meat that tends to be the driest on a turkey. Our objective is to make sure that it isn't dry at all. We're going to inject the breast, we're going to inject the legs, and try to get it down into every part of this turkey we can to allow that juiciness to happen. Now, this is the finished product of the injector that you saw Shad make earlier. And man, it looks good. So rather than drink it, we're going to put it in that bird. Okay, so what we want you to see is as we inject this, I'm just going to push it in there. Now what you're going to see, watch what happens to this meat. Okay, it's going to start to plump up a little at a time. You can see it's going to come out a little bit there. That's okay, because where's it going? It's going right onto that turkey that you're already cooking. So watch what happens. That meat is filling up. See what's happening right here? It's getting into places that you would not normally be able to get to, particularly up around that bone area. Now see how it's plumping that meat up really nice? That's what we want, because that is what's going to actually cook into that meat over the process. Okay, so now depending upon the size of your bird, you may want to make a larger batch of injector than we made, because believe it or not, these turkeys will hold a great deal of liquid. So as you can see, again, this breast is plumping up. See what's happening along this line here, okay? And that's just one injection on this side of the bird. Now we're going to get these drumsticks. And you can see it starts to swell that skin up. See, what that's doing is even when you can't get your finger underneath that skin to get that butter in there, it allows that juice from this injector to get down into it. So we're going to come in right down this lower side and just fill that bad boy up. Ooh, yeah. All right, now we're going to finish injecting this bird, and then we're going to come back and show you a little more about how to finish it off with that final seasoning on the outside. So I'll keep going. Okay, so we've got a little bit of our injector left, and we're just going to pour that over the outside of this bird before we actually put the Granny's Old Fashioned on there, okay? So this is another reason to make a little larger batch, because you're going to want to do something on the outside of this turkey to help that skin crisp up a little bit more. Some people use olive oil. That's fine. We just happen to have a little bit left of our mixture. Why not put it to good use? So I'm just going to pour this over really carefully and then brush a little bit along the way. Okay? Just kind of brush it to make sure it's getting to all parts of the bird. Okay? It's not going to be a really thick layer. Be a good Thanksgiving this year. And just get rid of all that. There you go. Just tell it where you want it. All right. Now it's time for the last little bit, which is the Granny's Old Fashioned. And we're just going to shake that Just give it a good covering. Let it get in on the inside of that. Just keep in mind, every part of this bird is going to cook, inside and out. So I'm just going to lift this up. Make sure I get a good bit down in there. Okay, cover the tips of those wings really good. Ooh, it smells good. All right. Okay, so we've got the Granny's Old Fashioned. Now we're just going to lightly, and I do mean lightly, hit this with some paprika. Don't want to get too much because then it'll really cause it to blacken up, and we're not after that. But this will add a nice color to the outside of this bird, and I think that's just fine. All right, so the pit's ready. Now we're going to cook this turkey today on the pit between 250, 275. If it gets to 300, then we're going to start trying to tweak that temperature down. Set it right here, okay? And then we're going to let him go. Probably 30 minutes a pound, so we're looking at a roughly 10-pound turkey. So just do the math, 300 minutes, but we're going to keep our eye on it and make sure, more than anything, that it's at a safe food temperature to serve our guests. So hang with us. We'll get her done.
Dave, the cat doesn't like it when you... First aid kit's in the hall pantry. Family, you gotta love them. So I'm gonna get started on those deviled eggs. Everybody claims to have a perfect method of doing eggs. By no means do I think my method is perfect, but it's the one that's worked for me for years. What I do is I get the eggs in a nice deep pot. I cover them with about an inch of just cool water. I'm going to put them on the stove. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, cover it, turn it off, let it set for 10 minutes, and then drain it. It's always worked for me. The eggs come out perfect. Makes it really good to work with deviled eggs because those yolks stay nice and yellow. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now for these deviled eggs, we're going to do some bacon, put on the top of them. And of course, I don't do bacon without doing Big Bad's bacon rub. So we're just going to take some of that Big Bad's bacon rub, sprinkle it on this bacon here, get it nice and coated. I've got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. We'll get this done up in that oven and cooked, and then we'll crumble it up to use as a topping on our deviled eggs. So, I've got my eggs. I've split them in half. I've got the egg whites over here ready to be filled. I've got the yolks in this container right here. And I'm going to add just about 2 big heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise to start with. I'll be honest, I don't have an exact recipe for this because it depends on how many yolks you're using, the size of the yolks that come out. I'm also, instead of regular mustard, going to add a little bit of Granny's mustard sauce because it will increase that flavor and be absolutely wonderful. So I'm just going to put a dab of that in there. We'll mash it up and see where we're at and see if we need to add more of either one of those. Now, I'll be honest, a lot of people put pickle relish in their deviled eggs. Nothing makes me quite as sick as pickles, so I leave it out. But if you want to use it, you go right ahead and throw those in there. Just don't invite me over. And I'm just going to get these mashed up and mixed up, see where we're at, see if we need to add any more mayo or any more of that mustard sauce. And I think we're going to be good. I'm going to add just a little bit of some kosher salt to this and a dash of black pepper, and then we'll start filling these deviled eggs. All right, so we took our egg mixture, put it in a Ziploc bag, cut off the corner, and just piped it into our eggs. Easiest way to do it. Then we've topped it with the bacon that we made earlier, of course made with that Big Bad's bacon rub. It's going to give it a nice kick. Just going to finish it off with a little bit of sprinkle of this paprika. It's the smoked paprika that we used earlier with the turkey, just for a little color and to make it taste nice. So we've got our deviled eggs prepared for those ravenous animals out there. Let's get it to them and try to get these people under control.
right, so we're starting to carve the turkey, and what you're going to see is an extremely juicy turkey when we start carving into this thing. But I'm going to go ahead and carve. I'm going to take this this leg off. So we're going to cut these wings off so we can get to that breast. Okay, so we're just going to slice right down here. Now the wings are going to do the same thing. They're going to pull off just like that. Okay, we're going to get both wings off. And just pull it. And then we're going to get to the part that everybody really seems to enjoy, which is the breast. Okay, now what you got to realize is there is still a bone right down the middle of this. So when you're carving a turkey, you want to try your best to get right along that bone. Okay, on either side, just carve down. And then I'm going to come over here because I'm right-handed, and I'm just coming. Look at that juice. See that juice we told you about? There it is. So we're just going to come right up in here and carve up as much as we can. All right. Now I'm wearing heat gloves because this is still warm. But see how that just comes right off? Look at the juice that's still in that meat. That's what you're looking for. Okay? But this is still an extremely juicy turkey. That's what you're looking for. Your family and friends are going to be excited. Ours are. And in fact, all those deviled eggs we made, they're gone. They're ready to eat. So we're going to get this ready to go. All right? We'll have it all finished in a minute. All right, so we've got our turkey, we've got our sweet potato casserole, we've already had the deviled eggs, we've got other stuff to eat. I'm just kind of wondering, will everybody know it's ready?
Well, I'm thinking we've still got a little bit of a bottle left, and I've got 2 forks. I don't think we need to be in a hurry.
All right then. Well, oh yeah. Hey, from our house to yours, happy Thanksgiving. Hey Gertrude, quit kissing people!